From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
April 15th is a big tax deadline, both for individuals and some small business proprietors. COURTNEY KINCAID shows us how to stay in the know.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com. This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
It's April, so I would like to talk to you about financial literacy. I know that the viewers of this show typically are small business owners and entrepreneurs, so I'm not going to spend time wasted on individual financial literacy. But I would like to talk about business financial literacy. CPAs, obviously, who I represent and work with, have a lot to do with increasing the financial literacy of clients here in Indiana. And when we talk about financial literacy from an organizational standpoint, we really start to talk about understanding your business and how it operates from the perspective of a couple of different considerations. I've talked before about the business's financials, their balance sheet, and there are several parts of the balance sheet. And I know for some small business owners who are not, they don't speak the language of business, then it can be really difficult to understand what's the difference between this balance sheet and income statement, for example, right? What's the difference between assets and what's the difference between assets versus revenue? And how do I look at those differently and how are they reconciled? And the truth is regardless of where you're operating, if you're running a business, you need to be financially literate if you're going to be successful, which is where a CPA comes in. And so, first of all, I would just recommend if you're a small business and you're not working with a CPA, work with a CPA, right? And so how do I find one, or how do I find one that fits my needs? Interviewing potential CPAs is definitely something that you should be considering. What are your needs, and are they going to be able to fill those needs? So thinking about asking them, where are your weaknesses? Like, can you explain to me what is the difference between a balance sheet and a financial statement? How should I be thinking about my assets versus what does revenue look like? And then, there's a whole nother set underneath that of language that is really helpful. Understanding your debt ratio, understanding your credit rating, and understanding the different parts that go into that can make significant differences in your ability in the future to get funding, whether that's from investors or if it's a classic loan. Understanding what your return on investment is really something that you should understand, right? Additionally, just understanding your cash flow. A lot of small businesses have calendar-based ebbs and flows, and so making sure that you do really well in the summer to support when you might not be doing so well and cash flow-wise in the winter, and how that flows and how that might affect when you need to do some lending and borrowing is all stuff that a CPA can help you with. We say that CPAs speak the language of business, which is really great when we're talking about financial literacy because it really meshes well together, right? The fact is that a lot of individuals are financially illiterate in understanding, and it's not something that we're taught in school. And so you can be really great at whatever vertical that you're in, but if you don't have that other component, it's going to be really challenging no matter what. There are a lot of different ways that your relationship could be formed with a CPA, right? So some are more fully embedded, even though they're not a full-time staff. Or you might hire a fractional CFO who is more embedded, who is there for a couple of days each week versus 5 days. But in the end, regardless of what that looks like, a good CPA is a trusted business advisor, right? They are the financially literate component. And so even if you have challenges there, a good CFO will be able to help you understand the decisions that you're making and explain them in what we refer to as plain English, right? Because when you get into it, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, what are these people around the table talking about? I'm not sure. They're your translator. So making sure they're in important meetings with you, making sure they're reviewing important documents, making sure that they're involved on the front end is really, really helpful, especially as you're a small or starting out, to make sure that you have everything set up properly to reap all the benefits. Having a CPA help you determine what systems you need, and whether that's from payroll, whether that's accounts receivable, having systems that talk to each other, that they understand your needs as a business and the capabilities of certain technologies, they're a great resource for that technology component in managing the finances, which is much like we talk about cybersecurity or business advisory services. It is not something that necessarily comes to mind immediately when people think about what their CPA can do for them. But in that trusted advisor role, it really is a holistic view of your financial picture.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunities show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.